The movie begins with a note stating that the Special Air Service, or SAS, is the United Kingdom's most renowned Special Forces regiment. The SAS is the world's premier anti-terrorist and special operations unit. This regiment is a model for armed forces all across the globe. We then see a soldier being tortured. The soldier, when asked about his number and rank, reveals it but doesn't provide any more details of his unit and mission. This angers his captor, who promises the soldier he's going to die. The scene then shifts to Mickey, seemingly waking up from a nightmare. He's riding the train from Cardiff Central to Llandovery, Wales. The landscape is bleak and snowy. A soldier next to him asks Mickey if he's okay and introduces himself as JJ. When asked about his regiment, Mickey says he's a chef. Mickey asks an attractive woman to give them directions to a pub at the next stop. Shortly after, they get off at a small town and walk half a mile to the camp gates. JJ says his dad was in the SAS and expresses his desire to be like him. Mickey asks if his dad is still in it, but JJ only says that he beat the clock, much to Mickey's confusion. They then find out the directions the woman gave them were wrong and have to call a cab. They are miles from their destination. The two go to a nearby pub and a group of men stare at them as they order their drinks. Soon after, they see the woman from earlier, and Mickey introduces himself. After she leaves for her table, one of the men from the group approaches Mickey and warns him about his drinking. When Mickey answers back, things get tense and quiet, so Mickey decides to leave with JJ. They have a heavy day tomorrow as they'll be starting the daring process to hopefully become a member of the SAS. The next day and every day forward, they awaken at 4:30 and start training. SAS selection is the toughest battle course in the world. Candidates only have 2 attempts at passing. If they fail both, they are no longer eligible for the regiment. The 200 candidates are divided into 5 platoons. The folks from the pub are the SAS directing staff, and the one who warned Mickey is Staff Sergeant Carter. He has served in the SAS for 9 years. At a briefing, Carter tells the candidates that SAS is only as good as the training it delivers and informs those here for the first time that they have no idea what they're about to go through. Carter notes that it's not them, but the candidates themselves who decide to pass this course, and says they'll be binned if they fail to complete their training. He starts them off running a road up into the hills. During that time, some soldiers begin to quit right then and there, and at the end of it, 163 candidates remain. As the candidates gather and converse as to what region they're from, Mickey discloses he's currently an Army cook. The others laugh at him. Despite their physical and mental preparation, many candidates do not make it past the endurance phase. Then they start running, cheer, walking with heavy packs. Sergeant Carter tells them they are building strength and ability to carry their kit and survive over rough terrain and long distances, even when behind enemy lines. They started light so they could build their base fitness up to a decent level, but gradually, the weight they carry increases. After this phase, 134 candidates remain. In the next phase, they learn hand-to-hand combat. Carter shows how easy it is to evade a larger man, and the woman from the train and pub, Captain Dawn Canterbury, who has served 6 years, easily puts down a large candidate in Chris. She says their technique, dubbed Krav Maga, was invented by the Israeli Special Forces, and that it's the best offensive and defensive close-quarter fighting method ever developed. Next, they shoot guns, climb trees, and practice more fighting skills. Mickey uses a boxing stance and knocks out a large fellow trainee, and the others applaud, remarking on him being a chef. Canterbury also notices and smiles. 67 candidates remain. At night, Captain Canterbury sees Mickey leaving the shower and is friendly. She provides him with the supplies he needs. An important test is a 40-mile hike with 55-pound packs and rifles to be done in 18 hours, with 2 rendezvous points. Mickey, JJ, and Chris set off. They make the first RV in time, and Corporal Cowan gives them the coordinates for the next one. After a while, very tired, they struggle to make the second, and Chris throws up in the process. Now the third leg, the 3 help each other and make it with a second to spare. After that gruesome phase, only 36 candidates remain. Mickey has flashbacks and nightmares about an airborne parachuting incident, calling out the name Leo and screaming as JJ tries to calm him down. JJ tries to find out what is happening, but brushes it off. At night, Slavic voices discuss explosives over a bright city skyline. The small number of candidates left now enter the final phase of selection: escape and evasion and tactical questioning. They are released into the wild without rations whilst only wearing vintage World War II coats. In the morning, before the final phase, JJ is seen lying on his bed, seemingly wanting to quit. Mickey notices this and tries to get him up, but JJ resists. Mickey then sits down to talk some sense into him. JJ says he doesn't think he can't do it. He tells Mickey that this next phase ruins the best of men, and also discloses that he's already failed it once. Mickey tells him that he dared to come here not once, but twice, and if he walks away now, he'll never forgive himself. He motivates him to try, as this is his last chance, and if he can't make it, then at least he'll know. So, JJ agrees, and the two head out. Afterward, Carter briefs briefs the remaining candidates about the final test. He says that after what they've been through already, this won't be easy for anyone. But he notes that it's all in their mind. They either have it or they don't. Mickey and JJ arrive late to the briefing and Carter berates them for it. And so, the final phase begins. Mickey and JJ pair up and head off into the snowy woods with their maps in hand. After some running, Mickey stops and suggests they rest for a while as they need sleep. Mickey sets up a snare and they rest. In his sleep, Mickey continues to experience nightmares. When he wakes up, JJ demands to know what it's about. Once again, Mickey diverts his attention to the snare and goes to check it. He catches a rabbit. Mickey makes a fire and begins roasting the rabbit. JJ warns that they'll be detected because of the fire, but Mickey tells him they are going to find them anyway. JJ is still conflicted about Mickey's history and asks him about it, so Mickey finally is honest about his past and reveals that he didn't join up as a chef. His reg was a pathfinder in the Paris. Mickey admits his nightmares are from when he was in the Paris. There was an accident with a close friend of his. He tried to save him, but he died on impact. After that, he stopped jumping and became a cook. Now he wants to make the sasses because they are the best. Just as they're about to eat their meal, they realize the hunters have caught up to them. They try their best to escape, but ultimately, both of them are seized. After, Mickey is hung up by his wrists in a warehouse. After some time, an attractive blonde woman comes over and places a device that emits a high-pitched noise as a form of torture. We then see the torture continue as a bunch of soldiers bang metal above Mickey's head. He is later questioned by the attractive blonde who asked him to sign a sheet, asserting it will be over afterward. He refuses and she insults him and his mother. He is stripped and ridiculed by the woman. Mickey is strung up again. Tired and blindfolded, his captors make loud noises to keep him awake. He goes frantic and starts shouting Leo repeatedly. We then go back to the beginning of the movie, where he is questioned about his name, number, and rank, which he provides but nothing more. As the captors try to break his will, Mickey continues to refuse to answer questions, even though faced with dire threats and verbal abuse. Finally, he is taken outside. Carter is waiting with a rifle and tells him this war is over for him. He has passed. Operationally, the SAS may be required to jump into unmarked drop zones at night within yards of their target. All candidates must be able to jump with a low-level parachute. The next scene demonstrates that a Chinook helicopter carries a squad. They have to jump and land within 10 meters of a target. Mickey freezes at the door, and Carter tells him he will fail if he doesn't jump. Losing patience, Carter pushes him out. JJ lands, takes off his pack, and looks for Mickey. Chris thinks he binned it, but shortly after, Mickey is seen to have landed safely and he's happy. Afterward, Captain Canterbury smiles at him in encouraging words on their return to the barracks. Less than 10% of candidates pass the SAS selection. The men wait nervously. Chris is interviewed first and departs, washed out and with no words to say. JJ is dismayed to see that happen to Chris after he went through all that. Mickey is called in, and Major Pritchard, who's been in the SAS for 21 years, gives him a lecture, then gives him a tan beret. Mickey accepts, and the Major says well done and wishes him good luck. Mickey and JJ gaze at a clock tower, a symbol for the regiment with the names of those killed in action. JJ says his dad retired from the regiment without his name being added. Afterward, they go to the same pub, and this time, Sergeant Carter welcomes them into the club and buys them drinks. Carter joins Mickey at his table later on, and Mickey thanks him for the help he didn't ask for but definitely needed during the jump. Carter tells Mickey that he is one of the best recruits to come through the course and says he has been selected to his squad. Mickey still has a 12-month probation period. After that, Mickey subtly looks for Captain Canterbury, but Carter notices easily and lets him know she's not here. Sometime later, Canterbury shows up at Mickey's apartment in a blouse and jeans and her hair down. She takes off her shoes and they kiss, start to undress, and move to the bed. Her phone rings. She replies in a Slavic language, dresses and leaves with a kiss. Not long after, Mickey's phone also rings, and Carter is summoning him for a job at 400 HRS. They are briefed by MI5 about a group of Bosnians and explosives, radioactive material. The SAS major lays out the plan. The squad is dressed in black uniforms and moves out. They enter an industrial complex, taking out guards as they enter, and promptly start a firefight with the Bosnians. Canterbury was there undercover, but she is now compromised and being beaten up, but soon she gets the upper hand and shoots her assailant, then joins Carter. The squad looks for WMD. One SAS is shot as they push the enemy across the warehouse. JJ sees an enemy attacking their rear, so he tackles the man but is killed by a suicide bomb. Carter takes Mickey with only 9mm automatics as they're informed that the Bosnian leader, Petrovic, has a radioactive bomb. The duo enters an office area and are attacked by two large men. Petrovic, being one of them, runs away but is followed by Mickey. Carter struggles with his man man but eventually subdues the bear-like Bosnian. Meanwhile, in the yard, Mickey engages in a hand-to-hand combat with Petrovich. After going back and forth for a while, Mickey finally knocks him out and secures the bomb. A closing note states that the SAS are tasked with covert and overt missions in some of the most dangerous places on the planet. They are on constant standby to respond to any terrorist incident in the UK or anywhere else around the world. Many try to get into the SAS. Only the elite make it.